Hello, my darlings. Sorry, I just hit my hair, hit the table, hit the whole thing. But we're talking about the full moon in Gemini. So it's like the title, this is like teenage angst. This is like check the adolescent. This is, what did I write down? Processing versus gossip. There is a difference. So today we're talking about the introduction to the full moon in Gemini. I will be a space cadet all over the place. I got like one hair that's kind of like bugging me, but you know, if you've been with me for a bit, you know that I really sink into the vibration of the full moon or the new moon or the introductory video or the month or whatever it may be. So as you can see, I'm a little chit-chatty, I'm a little all over the place, I'm a little childlike, and I forget that there are repercussions for my mother-father actions. So let's get into it. This is going to be a really interesting full moon. Well, first of all, I'll introduce myself if we've not met. Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a mystic, a spiritual counselor, a light worker, a starseed, a consciousness that came from a different time and space that has come down to play human to help you navigate and understand a little bit of what's going on right now, to make sense of the woo-woo. And I come from corporate and was training teams and leading people for 10 years when I was completely unconscious. And I have this incredible skill set of being able to communicate in ways that many people across time and space can understand. So it is my honor and pleasure to be here to kind of help you navigate a little bit of, what do you mean I have to check the moon cycles? What do you mean I have to look at my astrological chart? What do you mean I have to, go woo-woo and start pulling tarot? You don't have to if you don't want to. This is just a little bit of foundational understanding to help you navigate what you will be feeling. These energies are happening whether you believe in it or not. I like to give the example of, in the summertime when you're going to the beach, do you check the tides? And make sure that you go during kind of a lower tide area. You can show up at the beach at high tide. There will be very little space for fun and activities, but you physically can show up during a high tide, and you will have the water, you will have the sand, you will have all of the components, but the excitement and the feeling that you want to have for going to the beach, you kind of have to set a little bit of a foundation and plan accordingly around and with the powers that be. You can act like a teenager and it's like, I'm showing up whatever the frick I want and I'm going to do what I want to do and I don't want to do what I don't want to do. You can act that way and sit there at the beach like this. I'm having fun. I'm in control of everything. You're not. God's in control. The universe is in control. Whatever you believe in is in control. Whatever the power that be, whatever you've named it, that's in control. My Boston's been coming out a lot in some of my videos, so I don't hate it. So please go grab your coffee or tea. I have Esmeralda as well as this little this is all Chalcedony. So obviously I need some Chalcedony, but let's do a little pause. You can grab your coffee or tea. What do I have? I have warm water, I have espresso, and I have a gluten-free, sugar-free blueberry muffin that I made yesterday. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, and I made a lot of food. So please go grab your coffee or tea. Good night, my someone. Good night, my love. I was singing on the back shore today. It was really nice. But so, we have our journals. I'll give the dates first. We're also going to go over which tarot cards represent the first decan of Sagittarius, which is where the sun is, as well as the first decan, of Gemini, which is where the moon is. So as I'm learning, and I'm so fascinated that literally like every single tarot card has an astrological component. So when you're pulling tarot, you could literally, and this is what I've been doing, overlay it with your birth chart and kind of see where the planets are, where the transits are, what card is trying to like pop out at you and things like that. So it's all however you listen to your understandings. Just for me, it's astrology, which is like history, math, and patterns. Very, very accessible. And the tarot is how I basically read the paper. I have started a Patreon as well, where all of my live tarot readings are going to go. I do one tarot pull a week for the group, as well as one teaching video. So I already had for last week, it was how to clear your cards. And this week, it's really going to be about like, how do you even decide which deck is right for you, and give a few different tools and tricks about that, as well as a reading. So but for today, this full moon, let's talk about the dates as to when it's happening. And the date and the time, I list 3 time zones, and all that matters is when the moon is in full, complete opposition to the sun by degree. So everybody on the planet gets one. It just depends on what time zone you're residing in right now. So in central Massachusetts, not central Massachusetts, sorry, Central Standard Time, the 27th of November at 3:16, and this is military time. For the Gold Coast in Australia, 27th of November at 19:16. And for Eastern Standard Time, Gloucester, Massachusetts, which is where I am, 27th of November, 4:16. So that's when it is happening. I also wanted to highlight, and I'm going to put the link below, for the signs evolving, because for every single, there's no bad sign, there's no good sign, there's no perfect sign, there's no like imperfect sign in any capacity when it comes to the astrological wheel. There are 12 of us, just as much as there are, pages in the DSM-5 or, Enneagram types or human design types. We are all very, very specific and special puzzle pieces, and like blades of grass or snowflakes, whatever you may call it. We're all very, very special and very, very intricate and different, but we're just the amalgamation of like 12 different types of beings. So we're special, yes, and individualized, yes, but it is very easy to say like, okay, so this is your sun, moon, and rising. Those are the lenses that you are and how you view the world. So yes, we're special, but we're not that special. So, okie dokie, we did the dates, the signs evolving. That's what I want to say. I'll put the link below of the one that includes Gemini, because the Gemini, beautiful, beautiful sign, runs the third house of the astrological wheel. And so this is the general wheel that starts at Aries and goes all the way around to Pisces. So we're talking about the third house, which is communication, language, early learning, and short trips, kind of our immediate vicinity, if you will. But our communication and language, the Gemini, they are run by Mercury. They have two brains, as you can see in their little glyph right here. So if you are a Gemini or have Gemini placements, and anyone in your life has ever told you that you interrupt too much, or that you're ADD or ADHD, like if that is the amalgamation of human understandings that you believe in, then okay, I see that. But you have literally two brains. The Gemini, they have two brains, two functioning brains. And so basically, picture it as, computer screens, where as an Aries, myself, I'm an Aries sun. So I am like an infant baby RAM, and I'm like the parable of I got like 13 different tabs open in my brain. One of them's playing music. I don't know where the music's coming from, but I've got all these different things going on. For the Gemini, they have two computers, completely different, two computer screens. And so they'll be functioning on one, and then when something in the other fires, they learn new information, they want to teach you. They just want to teach you. So for me, I'll go back to the Aries. We're the babies, infant babies of the zodiac. So we came first. We want to do things first. That's cardinal fire energy, positive cardinal fire energy. And this is mutable air energy, mutable positive air energy. So infant babies, Taurus is the wee ones, Geminis is like the kiddos. It's like, oh my God, you guys, I just stuck my finger in the electrical socket and my hair kind of did this whole little thing. So just don't do that. Don't do that. I've already done it. I can show you what happened. I can tell you what happened. I can show, look at this part of my hair. It's never going to go back. Just so you don't do that. Just so you don't do that. When it comes to the more older air signs, we have Aquarius over here, which is they're the aliens of the zodiac. They're just a little bit oh, go do whatever you want. I'm not judging you. Why would you think I'm judging you? Just because I'm looking at you like this? I'm not judging you. Whereas Libra, cardinal positive air energy, is I love you so much. Do you love me back? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. Do you love me back? I know we just met yesterday, but I love you. I love you. They're run by Venus. They're so special. And we have Venus in the sign of Libra conjunct the South Node for this one. So it's just the reason that I say that there's a difference between processing versus gossip, and we have to check our adolescent, because during these times we can kind of convince ourselves that there are no motherfucking repercussions for our actions, and whatever we say and whatever we do is just this totally okie dokie, because we're in a mutable time. We're in Sag season. Please go watch my introductory video for Sagittarius for the Sag season, because it it is. It's an expanded focus. What we focus on, we will create. And the tarot cards that I pulled as well. I have the ones that represent the Dakins, but I pulled some cards for the group as well. So I'm excited to share those because it is. We will be celebrated. There will be a shine on us, whatever it is that we're doing, but just check your gossip. So let's go back to the third house. Let's go back to some astrology. So communication, language, early learning. What do you mean by early learning, Sarah? And I've given this joke before, which is, how did you learn the boundaries of your communication? Did you grow up in a family where it was not safe to communicate, and now you're an empath that's very introverted and can feel the energy off of everyone, but you still have not really grasped that it is safe enough for you to take up space? That's a trauma response, and that has a lot to do with our communication style over here. So there might be full moon illuminating. It's like we all become the werewolf, so we got to kind of check ourselves. We can even... I'm trying to get all of my readings done today because when this full moon comes, like, I'm not going to be in any way participating. I want everything done so I can take the time away and to just really be with myself, which I love. I love the lifestyle that I've created so that I don't have to worry. I don't have to stress. I get it. They're all done ahead of time and give you the resources that you need. So when I'm not physically available for live, you have your resources. But the joke that I've given before about myself personally is the first time that I ever heard the F word. And I'm trying very, very seriously not to swear as much in my videos. So I'm just gonna, first time that I ever heard F-U-C-K. I was in middle school and I'd heard it in school. And again, I was definitely one of the peacekeepers in my family, the middle child. And I just heard it and kind of just acted as if I knew what was going on. But I was like, okay, just wait until you get home and you can ask your mother about it. And so I was standing in the kitchen and my mom was taking my braids out of my hair. And I just go, Mom, what does fuck mean? And without answering, without saying a word, she just spun me around and slapped me across the face. And so I learned, and for a while, and in my restaurant times, I swear like the Dickens, and it's a good time. It gets a lot of the frustration out. And so I used to just be like, I have no freaking clue why I freaking swear so freaking much and blah, 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 blah. But, the more I become my adult self and unpack and deal with my mother and father issues, the less I need that inappropriate attention. So I'm grateful for that experience. And as a 36-year-old woman, it does sometimes take this long. And what I recognize in my restaurant job, that when we're vibing, I don't know if you've ever worked in restaurants, but if you've not worked in restaurants, but you've ever been out to dine or out, at a club, or experiencing the act of service in a way where you're like, this is incredible, and you're dancing and you're eating your food and it's like ambrosia and everything's wonderful. You're just like, what could go wrong? If you've ever had the best meal, the best experience, and the best waiter you'll never forget and things like that. And it's just I was so blessed to wait on a rehearsal dinner the other night, and it was so wonderful. The bride and groom at the end hugged myself and my coworker, and they were just like, you literally created that, you made it the best rehearsal dinner we could have asked for. These are poignant moments in time that, regardless of how insignificant you feel wearing the apron, you are an integral cog in that machine. You helped facilitate that, and it was an incredible blessing. I had so much fun. I was crying in the back for the speeches, as I usually am. Okay, so let's get back to the astrology of it. There's one square that I'm going to reference, and I'm going to highlight the work of Pam Gregory. I'm going to put the link for her page below, because although astrology is one of the lenses that I talk about, it is not my full lens. So there are squares and trines and, the opposition, sun and moon opposition of a lot of these planets. And so I'm not going to deep dive into them, but there's one that's exact by degree that I'm just going to reference, which is the planet Mercury is square the planet Neptune. So we have this planet right over here, square, kind of like when you come up to an intersection and one's got to go for the other to go. It's not really a blending of energies. Is square Neptune in Pisces, retrograde. And usually Neptune is about disillusion, illusion, but retrograde, it's actually when the rose-colored glasses get pulled off and you recognize that there's a little bit more to your soul purpose, the house of Pisces. Your, how do I say? I find this to be important, especially with the nodes going on over here. With the South Node, our collective like past life, old codependent patterns being highlighted by Venus over here in our house of relationships. A lot of people are just kind of saying like, oh, yeah, you're 8 out of 10, but I'm lonely AF, so let's do it. That's a full timeline. That's a full timeline. And some of these decisions, like Pam Gregory has said for a long time, some of the decisions that we make right now, we're playing chess with life. We're not playing checkers. So we can't really just like reshuffle and go back. Like once it's checkmate, it's checkmate. And once those decisions have put you on a specific path, you can't get off that roller coaster. You can't get off that train. It's going full steam ahead. So just be aware. And there is, because we're in so much mutable times, because this is a mutable square, because so much change is going on, this can be dynamic change. You can hop, skip, and a jump into your highest timeline in a way that feels this is coming to me now. If you've been doing this work for a while, and you feel like your immediate surroundings have still not emulated what it is that you see in your mind's eye, just keep trusting and keep staying in your own lane. Just stay in your own lane. And yeah, definitely go back and watch the Sag introductory video. It's for free on my YouTube page. And it's really just saying like, yeah, there's dumpster fires over here. This is on fire over here. There's brazen death and destruction over here, but I'm just going to stay in my lane. I'm going to meditate and send love and light to the entire planet. I'm going to do what I can with what I can as I can and not overextend, not spread myself too thin. Yeah, just know that these energies are happening. That's why I like to give you these videos as early as I can, but as close to the timing as possible, just to be like, okay, I know that I'm going to be sucked into this. I know that easily I'm going to be sucked into gossip. Easily I'm going to be sucked into all of these different things. But I'm just going to choose to bite my tongue. And I'm not going to participate. And even say to the person, like, I don't really want to talk about this. Thank you. No, I'm good. I see you and I honor you and I want to hold space for you, but no. Because in this time, things will come back so quick. Like you gossip, somebody's gossiping about you. You lie, someone's lying to you. You are choosing someone who's 8 out of 10. My guy, they are 7 out of 10, or you're 7 out of 10 for them. If you are making in any way decisions that are like, actually, my guides told me this, but I'm going to do something else, and I'm not really being truthful with them, and I'm playing cards, and just know that they're doing the same thing. Check your 5 core values. What are they? We have Jupiter retrograde in our house of money, values, and access to resources. We have Uranus retrograde in this house as well. So if things have been slow, if money has been slow, if clients have been slow, if you've had a lot of false starts, if you've had a lot of like swings and misses, just trust that. I from my own life, the sifter had holes in it. Like, I didn't recognize that this big pile of sand that I was creating, the tide came in and swept it all away. So I've gone back to my chop wood, carry water. When things are good, chop wood, carry water. When things aren't so good, chop wood, carry water. What do you do every day to keep you in your vibration? Your habits dictate your reality. And right now in Sag season, we're going to want to party. We're going to do shit. We want things to come in fast. We're impatient AF. So let's just, it's that little thing about manifesting and I like to utilize the term like the day after. It's the day after you've met your dream partner, you got that dream job, or you had the launch, or you acquired whatever it is that you've seen, you've signed the contract, you bought the house, you just plopped yourself into it. The next day, you'll have your own new set of responsibilities or focuses. What are those focuses? Can we look at them now and not get distracted by the hullabaloo of this season, and not get distracted by the gossip and the teenage angst and the chit-chatter? Especially going into the holiday season, I feel like there's a lot of, how do I say? the powers that be are still pushing like spend until you die. And a lot of people are like, actually, I don't want to, at least from the service industry, from my perspective, the difference between like 2021, 2022 amalgamized together and 2023 is it's not so much like the post-COVID roaring 20s of just like, make it rain, yeah, $200 bottles of table wine, everything's happening, like $100 bills for everybody. That's not like a Tuesday anymore. It's more so, I'm going to stay home and learn how to cook for myself and learn how to homestead and jar and can and check the ingredients on every single thing, because apparently they've started to add canola oil to about everything now, even in the organics. And also in the organics, I got a container of organic butter, and the inside, the butter was not labeled as organic. So there's so much of like, am I going to have to be making my own butter soon? Jesus. Like, yeah, probably, Sarah, probably. I'm learning how to cook again. It's really, really amazing. I love it. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. Making my own butter, staying in my lane. Oh, it's gone. Okay, well, that's okie dokie. Let's go back to the astrology of it and see if there are any key players. I find that the Aries, Chiron, North Node, Libra, South Node, Venus to be our biggest, like, this is a physical challenge. This is a big type of like a mental flip. Same thing when it comes to manifesting. It's not here yet, but act as if. So the North Node, what you're going into, a very independent time, a very I am statements for all of us, where there'll be sovereign beings in healthy partnerships, sovereign beings in healthy working relationships, where one person is not carrying the weight of 7 people. Everyone brings their own skill set, their specialty to the table. But our Chiron is reversed over here. So this is like our deepest core wound reversed, saying like the chit chat, the intrusive thoughts in your brain are probably telling you it's never going to happen. It's never going to come. You're delusional. Like this white knight in shining armor that you see in your mind's eye only happens in fairy tales. So just get back to work. Just get back to work. Those aren't your thoughts. Those are intrusive thoughts. If they start with what if it never happens, if it's a negativism, that's not your thought. It's not your thought. And then we have the South Node. Like I had said, this is releasing old karmic patterns. This is like the warm, wet blanket feeling of like, it doesn't really feel good, but it's comfy. We know that feeling. We know what it feels like to sell a part of ourselves up the river and be like, no, as long as the status quo in the group is going on, it's okay. It's okay. And that's conjunct Venus, our yin, our love, our beauty. So it's highlighting and showing around us everything we don't want. I know. I reference this. None of what I tell you to do is easy, and none of what I'm working on is easy. None of what any of the light workers or star seeds, this is not easy. But the more you slow down and express gratitude for your fingers and toes, for your cup of coffee, for whatever it is that you have an abundance of, then your brain starts to be rewired to feel the feeling of that day after. But if it's not here, mutable energy, all in Sag, it's like, don't take the first offer. Don't take the second offer. Are you treating yourself as the queen or the king that you are? And the queen or the king is no, like, how do I say? From a divine aspect. Divine masculine, divine feminine. You're divine masculine and you do not have your divine feminine lady yet. You're Aragorn out in the world and you don't have your Arwen yet. What do? You continue to fight and you continue to spearhead. You continue to stay in your lane. You continue to do what it is that you know you're going to do when she is there. Continue to run your team. Continue to run your flock. Do not get distracted, my kings. I know there are only so many of you that are awakened on this planet right now. And divine feminine, we send you love. We send you love, and we send you protection, and we are so grateful for you to be our providers and protectors, beyond special. And for my divine feminine, and you do not have your king, send him love and send him protection and do your woo-woo for him. And after that, do not sit and pine for him. Know that he's off running the ship. Know that he's off doing things. So keep yourself busy and do things for yourself. Unwind all of your traumas. Send love to the whole planet. Learn how to astral travel. Spark up a new language. Educating yourself is never a bad thing. Boss bitching, no ma'am. Do not harden yourself. I'm going to do probably a whole talk at some point. I'm very fascinated by how the feminist was created and, unwinding ourselves from that. Because it starts with deep, roaring pain of not, I can do it on my own, but I have to do it on my own. Or I had a father that expected a lot of intellectual things from me, so I had to have this skill set and harden myself. There's also something that's very fascinating. I live in the United States, and when it comes from first generational couples that had come over, something that had came to me the other day is the men that had to bring their wives and families over here were so unexpectedly beaten and bloodied and bruised on their ego. They were destroyed, and there were no sovereign men here to help give them a space to unpack what they went through. So the wives had to harden, and the mothers had to become masculine. And when the men went off to wars. And so these hardened women are now the matriarchs of these families, and they deserve a calm nervous system as well. And the work that they had to do, we must honor them with softness. Like, I waited on a table, it was the Wednesday, it was the day before Thanksgiving, which is, I had a lot of families that were coming out for the pre-celebrations. It was a good time. And I had this table, it was like all the youngsters, grandma was there. I guess grandpa had passed away, bless his heart and soul. And, I had given the check to the oldest man at the table because that's his responsibility to pay. And he's getting his wallet out, and Granny just goes, "Give it to me. What else are grannies there for?" Not to pay the fucking bill. I'm sorry for swearing, but grannies are not there to pay the bill. Grannies are there because they've had to do all these things and they've had to take over. Some man in that family must say, "Hey, grandma, you've done enough. You can relax. I'll take care of this." It doesn't take away from her. She's been waiting a long time for someone to do that. That's my unexpected little rant about generational unwinding of the divine masculine and feminine in this world. So I'll just leave that there. But we also have Mars in the mix over here. So I have Mars, the Sun, and Mercury all in the sign of Sagittarius. So even just a month ago, we were in Scorpio season, which is fixed negative water energy, a lot of fixity. There was no moving ideas. This is when a lot of wars were starting, and this is where a lot of different things on a macro scale was like, my ideas are mine, and if you do not believe with me, you can... And we saw a significant amount of I'm going to use a brazen word, demonic activity on this planet. And it's all coming out to be seen, so you're aware of people's true hearts and true souls. It is not easy to watch. It is not easy to view. Definitely go back and watch some of my Monday videos. The pictures are, like my face to the side. That's how you can tell that it's a Monday video, and they're shorter form. So definitely go back and watch some of them for the past month, and you'll see a little bit of the vibration of, there was a lot of intensity, especially since eclipse season. A lot of us have changed completely and are just like, holy crap, I don't have that fight in me. We have to choose one thing to fight for, and that's it. We can't solve every single problem in the world, but all of us have a responsibility. We showed up as human beings, and if we're awakened and enlightened, we got to stand for something and speak towards something. My personal choice has been to stand up for the sexualization of children that's been going on in the world. I've highlighted my own personal human story. It's called Waking Up Post-Woke, and I am just showing how easily it would have been for me to have been manipulated by a power that be. If I had been a young child in 2023, I would have thought that there was something wrong with me. If someone had planted that seed, I would have taken any of the, hormone blockers, and I would have been a boy right now, without question. So I would just highlight that that is the stance that I'm taking. I don't care what side it's on. I don't care how awakened you are. Let children be children. Anything that they wish to do to their bodies and transition them, it would be, in my recommendation, after 18, 20 years old, but not when they're children. Children's imagination is precious, and I couldn't speak more strongly towards that. Let children be children. That's it. That's it. So that rigid belief system from Scorpio season is staying with me, but I'm putting it all out there. I'm not soapboxing it. It's there on my YouTube channel if you want to see it, but that's just me speaking up for something that is very, very wrong. And I can only ever speak from I statements. So it's something that touches my heart, near and dear, near and dear. Yeah, we're in a lot of mutable fire, positive energy. It's holiday season. Everybody's, doing great. Everybody's having fun. We're having parties. We're just having a gas. We're having a good time. But when it comes to processing versus gossip, I'm going to kind of change a little bit of this, and we can talk from a leadership perspective, because it happens, when you work in a team environment, or, you have friends that you are part of a big community, and there's someone in your, immediate group, your immediate whatever it may be, that really triggers you, that really, really triggers you. And you learn a lot from them. You have to build yourself up to see them, build yourself down afterwards. And they might be completely unconscious and not even cognizant of the fact that you're going through this entire process. That's processing. When you're speaking from I statements, that's what I'll highlight. The difference between processing and gossip. So you need to unpack something that you were feeling, I statement, from an experience that was going on with someone in your work environment. And you need to talk to someone about it. We always utilize our personal growth and development, our leadership tools, that you send a text message to the person and say, hey, I have something that's going on in my life that I really need to talk about. I kind of have to talk therapy it. And do you mind? Do you have time and space to hold for me? And that person can either say, no, I do not have time and space to hold for you, maybe another time. That's being honest with you and authentic values. So you just don't take it personally. You just move on with your life. And you find someone else that you can talk to about it. Call your healer. Call a spiritual counselor, call someone, and you can set up a reading and you can set up a time to chit chat about this. Or the person's like, yeah, okie dokie, let's go for a walk, let's go for a talk. You're speaking from I statements. You definitely can bubble the conversation and just say, I am in no way judging this person. I am in no way trying to gossip about them. This experience really triggered something within me that I want to look at. Instead of calling up your friend and be like, oh my God, can you frickin' believe that this person did this? I can't even handle it. I know. Like, what were they thinking? Like, I was really affected by that. And then they went off and said this, and then they went off and said that, and then they went off and said this. That's a them. That's gossip. You're just chit-chatting about it. You are not actively trying to solve the problem, and you're speaking from pointing at them. They're in their own arena. They're doing their things. That's another you. So don't judge them. Say thank you for the lessons. Thank you for what you're teaching me. Thank you for mirroring a shadow that I was not aware of. Now I got to look at it. So I need someone to hold my hand while I look at this really gross shadow of mine. Why am I a vibrational match for this person? Why is it affecting me so much? You see the difference? So with all of this going on, we'll choose violence and then we'll choose the high road. So I'll just show how these things can go down. So moon is in Gemini. Sun is in Sag. General wheel, quest, adventure, long distance travel, higher education. Think of the Sagittarius glyph. It's the archer. You want to shoot for the stars. Shoot up there. Shoot your motherfucking shot. and we're going to choose adolescence, and we're going to choose gossip, and we're going to choose all these different things. Money's slow. All these things are slow. Chiron is retrograde. Neptune is retrograde. We're not looking at our soul purpose. Pluto is now direct. Saturn is now direct. We didn't look at our addictive patterns. We have all of these things. South Node over here in Venus. I'm just going to, be with the 7 out of 10 person until my 10 out of 10 person comes along, and everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. And you are gossiping, and you're just like spewing. Oh my God, this person told me this the other day. Just keep this between you and I, okay? Like, Uranus retrograde in your house of values, money, access to resources. Jupiter retrograde in your house of money, access to resources. This is when you inadvertently get fired. Truly. This is when you inadvertently start a timeline and create a human life with someone that you really don't want to be creating human life with, but you honor that you cannot, end that human life, and now you're with this 8 out of 10 person. Choose the high road. Choose the most authentic timeline. Yeah, you're lonely. Oh, I also wanted just to go back super quickly and highlight if you are in a divine masculine and a divine feminine partnership, because I never want to leave out my couples that are in partnerships. With the North Node in Aries and then the South Node in Libra, what do you love most about your partner? And how can you treat them like the king and queen that they are? Can you set up a more romantic experience for them? Do you have a weekly date night? What made you fall in love with them in the first place? Re-nourish that. Find new versions of independence for your current relationship. How can you spoil your queen? How can you worship your king? How can you submit to your king so that his business can thrive more? That's something right now that I really want to highlight, and I've given this recommendation to many couples. And if we're in the midst of having some troubles going on right now, I can absolutely do a group session and just help you kind of navigate and just, what was the mitigate? Is that the word that I want to use? Or just be there to listen. Because neither of you are wrong, but if your main goal is for your husband's business to flourish, how often are you treating him like a king? How often are you snapping back at him? How often are you rolling your eyes at him? Because whatever you, as the divine feminine, are anointing him with, that energy will affect every single other relationship, business partnership, contract that he has going on in his entire life. So if you don't respect him as the king that he is, how do you expect his clients to respect him as the king that he is? He must feel like a king at all times, and you must feel like his queen. He will provide and protect you. He will provide for and protect you at all times without question. And whatever else he needs, you take care of. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. So now let's go back to we're choosing the high road for this full moon. We're not going to participate in any gossip. We're not going to participate in conversations that aren't of our highest good. And if you do not feel comfortable and confident, this is another full moon that, for the Sag full moon that we had 6 months ago, a bit ago, I forget when it was. I was like, wait, when was that? It wasn't in Sag. Goodness gracious, I can't even go back. There was a full moon that we had. Dang! When was it? Was it a Leo full moon? I forget. It was a few months ago. I can't for the life of me remember when it was. It was an Aries full moon. That's what it was. And I was just like, go out. No, it might have been a Sag. I can't remember. I cannot place it for the life of me. It might have even been last year, honest to God. Might have been last year. I can't remember. But sometimes I'll say, don't go out. Just stay home. Sometimes I'll say, go out and enjoy yourself. This might be fun to watch. This is going to be a good old time. It was a full moon in Aries. I was like, get out there. Go watch. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be people watching. But I think it was a wedding that I worked over the summer, and I think it was a full moon in Sag, which is interesting. So it must have been Gemini season. Sometimes go home, sometimes go out. If you can participate in mutable positive fire energy and then mutable positive air energy and stay in your lane, absolutely do it. Absolutely go out and about and watch it like a movie, pretend that you're on safari, enjoy yourself, have a grand old time. But if you don't feel like you can be out there without getting too triggered, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that. Don't do it. Just stay home. Stay home and journal and do woo-woo and release and do an at-home retreat. Cook food that reminds you of Sag and Gemini, and watch movies. You know, it can be fun. And this is nostalgia energy. This can be, oh, I want to watch one of my favorite movies from, you know, my teenage years and enjoy it and dance around to it and stuff like that. And just see how far we've come from, you know, those types of experiences. But all right, now let's look at the tarot. And I'm going to try to wrap this up with a bow. So for the sun in the sky, is, I just want to open this. I have it all in front of me, but Sagittarius, 8 of Wands, this one. This is information coming in quick, things coming in, like work stuff, emails. This is very, very fast information. There's no people on the card. So whatever it is that you've been waiting for, is coming in hot, is coming in hot. This is the season, and we really enjoy this card. This is a beautiful card. This can be, if you've been waiting for love, this is, you know, love coming in. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. And for Gemini, this is 1 to 10 degrees of Gemini. 8s, 8, definitely a beautiful magic number. This is an interesting card. This can be a little bit of, no one's coming, basically. See how this person, she's blindfolded, and the ties that are around her are very loose. There's nothing holding her legs, and there's no one around her. This is like self-oppression, if you will. This is, oh my God, woe is me, woe is me. I don't know why this accent is just pouring out of me today. I just couldn't care less. It's a beautiful accent. So no one's coming. This is a card of, when I see this, when I'm doing my own readings, I always think, like, where are you labeling your traumas or something that has happened to you on your lapel? You're saying, I'm this way because this has happened in the past. We have to stay looking forward. Just like my Sag season introductory video, this is expanded focus. What you are focusing on, you will create. Your focus is all you have, and your habits create your life. So focus on new habits. Don't focus on what has happened to you, because then you're going to get more of it. Focus on trauma, I get more trauma. You focus on issues, I get more issues. You focus on gossip, I get more gossip. You focus on money and abundance, I get more money and abundance. You focus on love, you get more love. But don't label it on you. Release your shame. Release what has happened to you. And then the cards that I pulled, yeah, whatever it is that you're focused on, it's going to be a celebration. So whether it's your highest timeline and you get to enjoy it, or it's a lower timeline and the spectators will enjoy it too. It does, feels like money, abundance, the person, the thing, whatever it is that you've been manifesting for a long time that's not there, don't act like a child and mess it up. Don't get bitter. If you keep expecting it and it's not there, live into the vibration that it is here now. Even calling like your partner, your future partner, your partner. Your partner. They exist on this planet because you exist on this planet. Your abundance, your money, your, I don't want to use career, but like the way that you can effortlessly make money on this planet exists. If it is not here and you're just squeezing to try to make something work, stop trying. Try less. Relax. Let it come to you. Let it happen naturally. We're scared. We're scared of losing it all, but what if we got everything we ever wanted instead? Let's see if there's one more underneath here. Yeah. You're in a great spot. Don't mess it up. Lot of reverse. Right side up, this is I am not superfluous. I'm not extra. I'm meant to be here. Believe in yourself. View yourself from above. Because you're worthy. You're worthy. I was just asking my guides, like, if they had any messages, and they just go, what you said, what she said. Just, yeah. There's nothing else more we have to do but stay in our vibration, trust the image that we have of our future, and know that it's all breaking down, and know the earth is a mastery school for consciousnesses, truly, because we have gluttony everywhere, up, down, everywhere. It is a polarity-based reality. That my guide that speaks in that accent is leaving. I'm very, very grateful for her, and there's new guides coming in. There's a really interesting ceremony that happened last week, but it's one of my favorite phrases that she would say. The polarity-based reality that we live in. And it's a very, it's meant to be confusing. We came down from, our consciousnesses came down from other times and spaces to literally be stuck in a third dimensional matrix to ascend and awaken to that fact and just vibe. It's pretty cool. So ceremony. Be as divine and ancient as you possibly can during this time. If you're acting like a kiddo or a teenager, put it into your workout. Put it into a healthy sexual experience. Put it into a divine sexual experience. Put it into like watching a nostalgic movie and crying your eyes out. Whatever it may be, just feel it all. But really, you are a king. You are a queen. Act as if. You don't go out and play amongst beings that can take advantage of you. What is healthy love and healthy play and healthy fun and, healthy nostalgia? It's a good time. I love the holiday season, and it, I love that it brings people to a space where they believe in magic and they believe in the unseen in a way that's very precious and can be childlike sometimes, and I love that. That's very me. But don't get caught up in it and feel like this is your own reality. It's not. It's not real. The feeling of nostalgia and the feeling of the holidays, we as a conscious collective created that. We created that. Just like how you can listen to, like Ella singing Christmas tunes, and then maybe, the actual day is, family members fighting and everybody's got their own opinion and everyone's all over the place. But that feeling, we still believe it. So, seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing. And know that it's already here. So don't diminish yourself. Don't play into the hullabaloo. It's the day after you got the thing. How does that you vibe? Be that. All right. I'll see you in the individual readings. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful for you. I hope you have beautiful, blessed days, and enjoy the full moon. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be fun. It's good people watching. It's a fun time. I love you.